Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing? Just wanted to check in. Hey, Michelle. Thank you for being here. Can y'all hear me before I say anything? We're doing a mic check. Can I get a 4x4, please, in the chat? Hey, Rubber Ramada. Good to see you. Rubber probably hopped in and then hopped back out. Well, praise God. Hallelujah. Y'all, it's been a crazy day, and I'm just now sitting down. I just got finished cooking dinner. Hubby is on his way home. He told me that he got an ace tonight. That is a hole-in-one on his disc golf game tonight, and he was just telling me about it on the telephone, and won him a little bit of cash. So I just want y'all to tell the Duke congrats when he gets here. He's probably listening right now. Maybe on his way home. Baby, if you're out there listening, I just want to tell you, I'm so very proud of you. That is so awesome. The only ace of the night. So I just had to do a quick mic check before we get started. So appreciate y'all joining in. If you guys are new here, my name is Duchess. And we call ourselves the Dutch Bus Squad, the Dutch Bus Mafia over here. We talk about crime, corruption, missing person cases, and we don't do drama here. We just talk about cases, facts, crime, expose. So, and if you're not new here, well, welcome back because we are on episode 3 right now. So we're going to get started. Give me a second here. But again, if you are new here, my name is Duchess, and I do appreciate you guys being here and joining us for episode 3. If you've missed the first 2 lives, they were Monday and Wednesday, so you can get caught up on this case as quick as you can. We are talking about the Saints and Sinners series, and this is Scrutiny in the Church, Sanctuary under Scrutiny. And this has been a deep dive on the last episode, and we'll continue forward into these lawsuits. Tonight, we're doing lawsuit 3 and 4. Last night, we covered lawsuit 1 and 2. We had a special guest, Mr. Lightning Viper Angelo, came up and spoke to us off the cuff, and it was a great conversation. And I just want to say thank you so much, Angelo, for coming up and speaking to everybody. And I hope that we can continue to, work together and with other creators and subscribers and people that are out here that are serious about protecting kids and why these things are so very important. There's not many of us that are still left. There's a lot of people that have left and are not doing this anymore. So it's really important that we share this message because we can't stand with the predators. So, and there's Viper in the chat. Thank you so much for being here, Viper. It's good to see you again. Now, remember, in this case at the Pawleys Alley Community Church, 2 more families have stepped forward in tonight's 2 lawsuits, 2 more legal complaints that continue to raise really difficult questions in my community about trust, about oversight, about protection. Remember, this stream is 18 plus only for adults because we are talking about cases that are involving minors. We're talking about allegations that have been made in lawsuits, and some of this stuff may be difficult to hear. And if this is not the stream for you, this is the perfect time for you to pop in and say, hey, or if you're in the bushes, and you're like, I've got my kids around me. This is probably not a good time for me to listen to something like this. Please do not listen to this around your kids. I would just prefer that always because we talk about difficult topics. So if my mods can give us a trigger warning in the chat, because if you guys watch episode 2, trigger warning, when I read these lawsuits because I got angry all over again because honestly, I had so much on my mind, it kind of snuck up on me. But it's always a good reminder. So, but these questions about trust and oversight and protection. And listen, since our last stream, we talked about it a little bit last time. Now there is a 5th lawsuit. So we're going to have another episode. I've tentatively scheduled that for Monday because it looks like that I don't know what exactly is going on tomorrow night. And if I can pull, we're going to vote. I think we should just vote about when to do it. Sunday, I'm not free. I'm not going to be able to do it on Sunday. So it would have to be tomorrow, probably during the afternoon, or it would have to be Monday night. And I hate to wait that long, but as of right now, like Sunday is out. I'm not free Sunday evening. So we'll just, I don't know. Maybe I can go early. Maybe I can try for Sunday afternoon. But we've got that 5th lawsuit, so we've got to add this extra episode on. And then we have that new arrest with Michael Fields, who is the operations leader of the missions at Pawleys Island Community Church. And now after his bond hearing, well, it's been made apparent that the attorney for Michael Fields must have also had something going on that day too. And I need to see if I can get, Michelle, if you can get that link to his bond hearing and drop it in the chat, or just send me the link. Send me the link if you have a second to go grab that, because, all right, let me just look it up on my phone, because I do want you guys to hear that bond hearing, because it went to a whole other level with a Georgetown Municipal Judge, because a guy that Michael Fields called on for help, well, turns out he didn't show up to help Michael Fields, because as I'm going to show you guys the receipts for, turns out that Richard Dana Todd Jr., who is also a municipal court judge in Georgetown County, was arrested. It's pretty hard to go represent a client if you've been arrested for unlawfully neglecting a child. Make it make sense. But tonight, I'm going to keep my focus clear, as always. We're going to talk about what we know to be fact and what is being alleged in these filings, what is documented and what remains allegation, not fact. So make sure that you grab your pens. This is a good time to get your notebooks, your snacks, your drinks, and if you need it, your seatbelts and your tinfoil hats, because I don't know where this ride is going to take us. But we are definitely going to be jumping on the bus, and we're going to read this line by line. We're going to see what's really been said, and then we're going to summarize what these lawsuits mean. So before we get started, if you guys would just take time to please like this stream, share it out, make sure you're subscribed, ring that notification bell so you'll get notified for all the future streams, and make sure that you adjust your ear pods, because the Dutch bus is fixing to take off, and we're going to head on over into the 843 lounge, and I'm fixing to take y'all there. So make sure that you clock in, because we're rolling.
every truck that rolls by slow. If a stranger lingers by the road, we make sure that everyone knows.
Kids on bikes in the afternoon, kicking dust in the county sun. We don't let fear make rules here. We stand up quick, we don't run.
If it feels wrong, say it out loud. Don't wait while the daylight fades.
One quick call can change it now. Tell someone, keep them safe.
If you see it, say it. If you see it, say it. Our children come first, come first. If you see it, say it. Call right now, time's wasting. Report it right now, right now.
Front porch talk and a screen door creak. Mama's voice cuts through the yard. We watch that park, that school, that church. Every neighbor plays their part.
I stay open, ears stay sharp. When a shadow moves too close, a community that looks away is the one that hurts the most. If it feels wrong, say it out loud. Don't wait while the daylight fades.
One quick call can change it now. Keep them safe, no time to play.
If you see it, say it. If you see it, say it. Our children come first, come first. If you see it, say it. Call right now, time's wasting. Report it right now, right now.
Thank you, Michelle, for sending me that link. I'm pulling it up right now.
We won't give 'em one more mile.
Let me get some things switched up here real quick so we can jump right into this and switch out my media asset here. How's everybody doing? Y'all had a good week? It is so hot here in South Carolina. I tell you what, we had some rain and it kind of cooled us off for a couple days, and I got spoiled by the 75-degree weather. But I tell you what, 107-degree heat index, I am not cut out for it. I tell you what, it's been terrible. Thank you, sis, for sending me that link, though. WPDE, that's what I was looking for. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to hop right into it. Let me hop back over here to StreamYard real quick because I want to adjust this music one more time. Y'all let me know, is music too loud? You can't hear it? Just want to make sure. I like to have it in the background. Okay. Like in, y'all. Tell me what's popping in the chat over here. What we got going on? Talk to me. Somebody's got to be glad it's Friday out there, right? This is the last day of July, y'all. We're fixing to see August tomorrow. Can you guys believe it? Also, before we get started, I want to give a shout out to Bob. Bob, if you're out there listening, I don't know if Bob is in the building, but Bob, if you are in the building, I want to thank you for your emails and let you know that I did get your email about Robin Dole. That is a lady that was missing out of Catawba, North Carolina, and she was found deceased, and they did arrest the man that unalived her. And Bob sent me that today after I made my post to let me know. And Bob sends me cases and things. And he sends them to Grizzly True Crime too. So I just want to give Bob a shout out and say thank you so much for checking my page for updates and missing flyers. And I appreciate you supporting. A lot of people that follow my channel, they don't watch the live streams. They catch me on the replay or they watch my community post. So I see you. I see you, and I appreciate you so very much. So I know you're at the store, Elizabeth. Elizabeth L is not in the building. She is at the store. Be careful out there, Elizabeth. Hope you're doing good. It sounds good. Thank you, Matthew. This is all the music I write on my Suno AI. Here comes Harley. She's still a little you still a little high? Yes. She had her special cheese today because she had to have her nails done. So yes. Daddy be home soon. Yes, he will. Yes. Oh, there's Daddy now. I heard his little beep beep go off. Well, we don't know if Bob is in the building, but if Bob enters the building later on, he will know that he is appreciated. I do see y'all's emails. Sometimes I don't get a chance to respond, but I do see your emails, and I appreciate y'all. That's right. It's the cheese tax. And she's had a lot today. She's been through it. Bless her heart. So let's get started. Let's look at this first article that we've got over here. Fifth arrest in Pawleys Island church operations, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that bond hearing, and but I found it right here when she said WPDE. After that, I scrolled down. I was like, there it is, right there. Michelle's gonna kick my butt. Love you, Michelle. Michelle's the queen, y'all. Just so you know, she's the one who really runs this channel. I just work here. Anyway, so I want you guys to watch this bond hearing. And again, all credit to WPDE ABC 15. That is my local news station. This is important. And this is where your notepads and your pens come into play. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay? The reason it's important is because Michael Fields in this bond hearing says something that is very curious to me, leading to this pattern that I was speaking of last night when we're talking about these people who are covering up for child predators in the church, knowing that it's going on, but not telling parents, not telling teachers, telling them that they're wrong, their child is making it up. All of this nonsense that's happening in my community. What was interesting is he said, where's my attorney? I called him, Niki Todd. I want you guys to listen for that because I think you're going to find it very interesting because there's a reason why Niki Todd didn't show up to this bond hearing. And in case any locals that are in here, y'all probably know who Niki Todd is. He used to be an attorney in North Myrtle Beach where I live, but now he's a Georgetown Municipal Judge. Oh, sorry, not now. Not now, he's not. I think I've got that actually up here. Yeah, right here. Let me take this comment down of rubbers. This is his little Supreme Court letter that I found today when I did have a few minutes. I'm going to have to look at it on my phone so I can tell you what it says before we jump into all this other stuff, because I do want to make sure you guys know the latest updates about what's going on, what we're fixing to jump into. Here we go. This is the Supreme Court of South Carolina in the matter of the Honorable Richard Dana Todd Jr., Chief Judge, Georgetown Municipal Court, respondent, and it lists the appellate case number. This is an order. Based on credible information provided to the court, I find respondent's continued service as a municipal court judge poses a substantial threat and serious harm to the public and the administration of justice. It is ordered, respondent is hereby suspended from his judicial duties pursuant to Rule 17B of the Rules of the Judicial Disciplinary Enforcement, Rule 502 SCACR, until further order of this court. John Kittredge. So, hey, Twisty. It is hard keeping me straight. I know. I'm so sorry. I know I'm a handful. Good to see you, Twisty. I hope you're well. Hey, Bear. I hope you're doing good. Thanks for joining us. The Duke's home. Congrats on your ace. I told everybody. I think he's got something he's going to show us. Hold on a second. Let me get back to full screen for a second. I don't know what's going to happen. Hang on, babe. Let me take this down so you can come over here.
That's for you. That's the ace pot tonight. I hit the ace on $1,772. You keep that. Keep doing what you're doing.
Babe. Babe, I can't take your money that you won.
You can have it.
Can I at least have a kiss or something, or just a hug, or just I love you?
I love you, baby.
I'm so proud of you. Really, I don't need your money. I'm good.
Can't give it to me.
He just got my manicure and my pedicure, so I'm good. I don't need anything. He always takes care of me.
I love you, babe.
I love you too, baby. Y'all, I have the sweetest husband. He was going to give me that money. I'm good. He'll take care of me. I trust that he's going to pay bills or whatever he's got to do with it. I don't need it. Like, I'm good. I'm good. Maybe he can pay. I'll tell him to pay all my StreamYard stuff. That would be good. Yes. I know, right? That's not every day. He needs to go buy a lottery ticket. That would be good. I'm doing good, Twisty. It's good to see you. What was my face? What did I do? Listen, that's why I turned my camera off, because I don't want y'all to see my face and all my little faces. Bear says, lot of sickness moving around out there. Keep your eyes open, friends. Ooh, where are we talking about, Bear Minimum? Michelle says, that's a wife's duty to have her hand. He takes care of me. So I'm good. Okay, anyway, back on task now. Let's get back over here because I want to share my screen. I told him that. I told everybody that. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let me get back over here to this bond hearing. There we go. That's where we want to be. That I would tell everybody, that I wanted him to know that I told you guys, so y'all could tell him congratulations. Because that's his thing that he does, is play disc golf. Okay, so back on task. So on this bond hearing from that fifth arrest with Michael Fields, he says something key about Ricky Todd. That is Richard Todd, former attorney here where I live, but was a municipal judge in Georgetown County. So we're going to watch this first, because I want you guys to stay up to date, because things are coming out. Like, for all I know, this weekend there could be more lawsuits. There could be more people getting arrested. So we got to really stay on top of this, because this fifth lawsuit, it is long, and it names the South Carolina PPP. Yeah, which is the Parole and Pardon Board, Prison Parole and Pardon Board, in the lawsuit. Oh, it's getting deep now. They think there's a criminal conspiracy going on. So that's why I want to keep you guys informed and up to date about all the changes that are happening as I know about them. All right, so we're going to watch this video. Again, all credit to WPDE ABC News 15. We are watching this for educational purposes.
Madam Clerk, you said he had representation? It was not for him, Judge. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
I
We'll go.
told my Ricky Todd was be here.
Who was that? Ricky Todd? Let's take that back a little bit.
Sorry.
Oh, that's fine. Okay.
I
We'll
told my
go.
Ricky Todd was be here. He told me yesterday Ricky Todd would be here.
I'm sorry. There's no representation for you, sir.
They told me that Ricky Todd would be here. If you're local in South Carolina, you know that Ricky Todd also defended the people where there was over 100 dogs found deceased inside their home. That's not including the other 100 and some dogs and cats that were found alive on the same premises with the deceased animals. Disgusting. Trash. People doing this to their animals. And you know who their attorney was? Richard Dana Todd Jr. That case was just a couple of months ago. He represented them. Now, he's in jail. Last I checked, I think I don't know if he bonded out or not. Let me go look. I'm not sure if he bonded out or not. I'm going to have to check that. But if you look back at my screenshot right here of his Vine link, it says that he's 46 years old. It's got his ID number, and it shows that he was booked July 30th at 3:10 p.m. at Georgetown County Detention Center. And those charges were unlawful neglect of a child. I don't know what child, but isn't it interesting? The person he was going to defend was somebody who was going to be charged with unlawful neglect of a child. Because that's what Michael Fields was charged for. So that's why I'm saying there is a pattern. These people know each other. They represent each other. No. I am done with this good old boy system. Everybody covering for everybody. I'm over it. Hey, Trixie. So glad to see you. How have you been? I hope you're good. It's so good to see you. Yeah, he spent one night in jail. This is so overwhelming for people in my community. I can't imagine what it's like to be a member and be a parent of a child that I'm paying for private school, knowing that this happened. Furious doesn't even begin to describe it. And that's all I can say for that. So let's get back over here and watch the rest of this bond hearing. But I thought you would think that was very interesting, because what are the chances that you ask for an attorney, where's Ricky Todd, and he doesn't show up? And then this is at 9 o'clock yesterday. 9 o'clock yesterday morning was this bond hearing. Okay. And then fast forward to 3:10 p.m. and there is Ricky Todd on the VineLink app because he's in jail for the same charges that Michael Field is in jail for. They're in the same detention center. You cannot make this stuff up, I swear. You cannot.
So we're going to go ahead and go forward on our bond hearing on this morning, okay?
Thank you.
All righty. Good morning. I'm Judge Vanderhost, and I'll be setting your bond this morning. Would you please state your full name and address for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Michael Fields, 108 Santee River Road, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, 29588.
Okay, 108 Santee River Road, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. How long have you resided at that address, Mr. Fields?
29 years.
29 years, okay. Do you work, Mr. Fields?
Yes, ma'am.
Where do you work?
I work at Pawleys Community Church.
Okay. And how long have you worked there, sir?
15 years.
15 years. Okay. You come before the court on this morning on arrest warrant 2026 A as in Apple 22105000460, and that's on the charge of children unlawfully place a child at risk of or cause harm or willfully abandon the child. Do you understand this charge on this morning, Mr. Fields?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So anytime you come before the courts, we have to make sure that we always read you your rights. You have a right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney,
Leave me your first impression comment right now. What is wrong with this? What is wrong with this whole scenario right now? Just, I mean, he's just standing there like he has no idea, like, what's even going on. He's just, I mean, if I'm in jail for something I didn't do, I'm going to be angry. You know what I mean? I don't know. And the judge is way too calm. I just don't even know if I could be nice to somebody like that either, Michelle. I'm going to be honest with you. Hey, Cindy. Yes, this guy was the operations over the missions. Yeah, I'm cracking me a cold one, a Sprite, because this is, it's too much. He is very calm, and she is so respectful to him. It makes me sick. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bare minimum. Oddly, I'm attempting to trust my fellow neighbor more these days. Okay. And you never know who you're talking to at the grocery store. Okay. Well, I appreciate you sharing the insight. Hope that you have a wonderful night and a weekend. Thanks for being here. She's doing her job with dignity. Twisty, I'm glad she is, because I think it would be tough for me to be as gracious. I think maybe is that the best word to say? I try to be gracious on here, but also I get a little sassy. Of course, I have seen some sassy judges. You could always have Judge Judy. I feel like I'm a Judge Judy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to give people probably a little static. It's that I'm innocent demeanor. Judge is ultra professional. Oh, she definitely is. I don't think I could ever hold it together like that, because I feel like I'm more on the lane of Judge Judy. You know? All right, let's get back over here.
you may apply for the services of the Public Defender's Office. You have a right to a jury trial, and you have a right to be present at your trial. Do you understand, Mr. Fields?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that on today, you're going to be given some court dates? If you fail to appear for those court dates, you may be tried in your absence, and a bench warrant may be issued for your arrest. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you also understand that the
true,
charge
dear
that you
ma'am.
have on this morning, it is not a magistrate charge. It is a general session level offense charge. With that being said, you do have the right to a preliminary hearing. The preliminary hearings are held to determine probable cause. So at those hearings, you're allowed to ask questions. You're allowed to make motions. You're not allowed to give any testimony, nor present any evidence at that time. Do you understand, Mr. Fields?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, with the preliminary hearing, you have 10 days to request that hearing. But if you choose to make that decision that you would like to have a preliminary hearing, and that's a decision that you make today, I ask that you would mark the bond paperwork appropriately, and you will be notified of that court of the preliminary hearing. Do you understand, Mr. Fields?
I'm not sure does that mean I stay here for 10 days?
No,
Oh.
just you have 10 days to make that decision. Just to make the decision if you desire.
He thought he was going to have to stay there for 10 days. Yeah, that's what I took away from that. He didn't really understand that. So
To have a preliminary hearing. So it just gives you a time limit to make that decision. But if you just want to mark the paperwork today and say that you would like to have that preliminary hearing, you can. Okay.
Please.
All righty. Now, with that being said as well, as I stated earlier, this is a general session level offense charge. That's you have two mandatory court dates. Two mandatory court dates. Your first mandatory court date is September the 24th, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Your second mandatory court date is October the 22nd, 2026. Those are mandatory court dates. As I read you your rights, I stated to you that you were going to be given court dates. If you fail to,
I need one of my mods to jot that down because I just got a pen and I'm looking for another one now because the one that I had up here, it's out of ink. I need a pen. I need to jot down those dates. If y'all heard that or jotted it down, y'all remind me of those dates. I may have to go back and play that again. So I want to make sure I keep up with all these dates. They got to go back to court.
your second mandatory court date is
hang on.
October the 22nd,
Here we
two
go.
mandatory court dates. Two mandatory court dates. Your first mandatory court date is September the 24th, 2026 at 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Your second mandatory court date is October the 22nd, 2026. Those are mandatory court dates. As I read you your rights, I stated to
Okay, September 24th and okay, I think I found a pen. October 22nd. I want to make sure I get those down so we can keep up with it. There's a lot of, and we've already got like 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 5 people to keep up with and all these different court dates. I hope they can concisely put some of these together, but of course they probably won't. And it'll, you know, I just see this being a mess. Yeah, I agree. He does just seem like I see people that look like him all the time. I mean, he's in my community. He looks just like some of my neighbors. I mean, you would never I couldn't just look at him and just be like, this is somebody that would be okay with a predator in the church. Like there's not necessarily a face for that. And I think that's where, well, we're going to jump into what happens after this bond hearing because, you know, his neighbor apparently is coming under fire because he's standing up for Michael Fields. And so everybody's going to have a side to this because there are people that have probably known this man his entire life or for a very long time, and they have no idea. But do we ever really know people? I mean, that's something that they asked me when I had to take my psych classes for criminology. You know, that's why they have criminal psych for a reason. You just don't know what goes on inside the minds of people like this. So, which is why it's studied. So, Rubber says, Cindy, I'm too opinionated. Yeah, I probably am too. I would not be well suited to be a judge because I'm judging. Okay, do you hear me? Let me just go ahead and tell you right now, this is my judging face. You hear me? I am doing all the extra judging. I do not necessarily have to say anything, but don't think I'm not over here giving you the side eye. You hear me? Y'all better straighten up out there. Oh my goodness. Hey, Stitching. Hope you've had a beautiful Friday. Thanks for joining us. Michelle said, I was up for jury duty over the 2 weeks they interviewed me for 5 trials. I didn't get picked for any of them. Stop it. You better send some of that good juju over here because when they called me for jury duty last year, I did not want to do it. And thank goodness I was able to get out of it. Thank you, love. Thank you, love. You're the bestest. All right, let me catch up here. Hey, Too Worried Mom, it's so good to see you. Thanks for joining us. Twisty, I don't know. These people, well, that's a good question, bare minimum. Remember, sis, I told you about it when it was happening. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. And Rubber, you're just like me. My face gives it all away. I mean, if you don't know what I'm thinking, if I have my camera on, you're going to know exactly what I'm thinking because I can't hide it. It's just the way that it is. I'm doing the judging face. All right. Let's catch back up to the end of this because this is just an interesting hearing altogether.
You that you were going to be given court dates. If you fail to appear, you could be tried in your absence and a bench won't be issued for your arrest. So I'm going to ask that when you receive copies of your bond paperwork, please do not discard those. Keep those documents to refer back to, because if you miss those dates, you can be tried in your absence. You understand that, Mr. Fields?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Before I set your bond on this morning, is there anything that you would like to share with me?
Confused a little bit. I haven't gotten a call. I'd like to call. I thought I was going to have representation here today. So, and I have missed my medicine for the last 24 hours. And I just, what's next as far as being able to get my medicine and make a phone call?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, you just go ahead and worry about that. That's going to be the least of your worries if they send your ass to prison. I promise you that.
We'll make sure that you get that telephone call and make sure if you need.
So I'm going to hope and pray that they don't find that you've been involved in anything nefarious. Because in my opinion, if you were operating over the missions department, you knew full well it, because I heard you say that you've been at the church for 15 years, Michael. So that was well before Warren Perry entered the picture. So that means you would have known, because you were a leader in the church, about him being brought in and about his status and about how it was going to be hush hush. You would have had to agree to that. Let me know in the chat your feelings on that as we play this out.
To see the physician out there, they'll also make sure the nurse comes and see you as well. Okay?
She did last night. She saw me last night, said she couldn't get the medicine that I needed for a couple of days, so I needed to try to figure out how to get it.
Okay. All righty. So make sure after the bond hearing itself, at least touch bases with her to see if any changes has come about that they could have gotten it a little quicker for you. Okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So on this morning, I'm going to set your bond. Your bond is going to be $25,000 cash surety. And I'm going to also put a no contact order in place. Now, with the no contact order, that means you're not allowed to contact anyone via telephone, social media, family and friends, in reference to this matter itself. I know that it's kind of broad, but until we're able to resolve some of the issues.
Hold on a minute. Did she just say he's not able to contact anyone over the telephone, over social media, family and friends? Anyone that might be connected to the case or the church or the scenario, and that is a broad term. So basically, you got to go home and don't talk to nobody and sit there in your house until they let you know what you can do. So that's mind-blowing. Why would they put that in place? I don't think did they actually say that in the other bond hearings? Am I going to have to go back and watch the other bond hearings? Because that is extremely interesting. He can't even contact his family and his friends. I guess because they don't know. Oh, yeah, regarding the subject matter, but I'm sure if he goes to church there, people that are his family and friends are probably within the church, Bear. But, I mean, they have to do what they have to do, right? Yes, memberships are paused now, and I appreciate you asking, Stitching, but YouTube decided to pause my memberships because the AI bot detected that I had some reused content on my channel. And of course, as you can see here, I do replay the videos and I source them and I let people know that I give commentary, all the things. But apparently it was not sufficient. So they still paused my memberships until I guess prove that I do my own work. So here I am doing my own work. And maybe they'll see it. So I don't understand covering for people who hurt others either. I really don't. And Twisty, I did see your comment and the video was playing and I just did not address it. But no, I have not heard any updates or news about Arctic. And if I never hear his name or see his face again, it won't be anytime too soon. Okay. I don't have any contact. I don't want any contact. If somebody updates me about something that has updated as far as him being arrested or charged or something like that, you know, I'll let everybody know. But as of right now, I have not heard anything. So I just wanted to answer you because I didn't want you to think that I was ignoring you. So, and Rubber, I appreciate you, darling. Thank you. You're so sweet and I appreciate that. I wanted to get that out. So, because that's another one. That's another situation. Like, you know, just infuriates me so much. If you want to support, you can, only thing that I have right now is Cash App. If you want to support Harley and buy her some treats, that would be great. I appreciate it because it is a lot of work. And I also shoot Michelle a few bucks because she helped to get all these FOIAs because this stuff isn't free, you know? So I appreciate anybody that supports. In fact, while I'm thinking about it, I did make a little thing for all the people that supported me the last few streams. And I just wanted to give you guys a shout out. Thank you, Michelle, Elizabeth, Val, Rubber Ramada, and Cindy. And no, I didn't put South Florida because I couldn't get it all on there. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate you guys supporting the mission. It helps me to pay for my apps and get Harley a couple of good snacks. And Elizabeth's got her covered on the snacks. So I've just been, you know, getting the little apps and things that I use to make all of my little graphics and everything. So I just wanted to say that I really appreciate you guys. It really means a lot to me. So let me make sure I see. I know the bots are crazy. And I made the 5-minute video. I even showed them Canva. I showed them my KineMaster video where I put all of my graphics that I make on Canva together. I showed them how I make missing flyers. I mean, 5 minutes is hard to really demonstrate that. And I did do that, but they said it wasn't good enough. So I don't know. It's crazy. Matthew says bonds were ridiculously low for all and they need ankle monitors like another pastor we know. Oh, yeah, JP. And that case is coming up, y'all. So no, he is not still in jail. This guy actually did bond out. So I know, and I appreciate you, Rubber, and I love you so much. It means the world to me. We got to look out for each other. So Two Word Mom says, I think some of the church members knew also. Oh, many of them knew because a lot of them were on the board. So, and people lost their job for speaking out about it. That's the really sad part, is a teacher spoke out, told that he was an RSO, and they fired her. And I'm like, what? I mean, God, these people have some nerve, I tell you what.
Issues, we're going to have to put that no contact order in place. Do we understand, Mr. Fields?
Now, I can make a call to have someone bring the $2,500 here.
Oh, absolutely. You can have someone to, you're going to have to, because you're going to have to get a bail bondsman to at least help you with the bond itself. It's cash surety, unless you choose otherwise. It's up to you. You're more than welcome to make that telephone call. But I'm going to ask you to make sure for now the no contact order be in place so we can, until your court appearance in court, okay? Any other questions or any other comments?
Oh,
All right, sir. Mr. Fields, I wish you well and you take care of yourself, okay?
all right, thank you.
All right, have a good day.
That's tough to watch. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, now this is the follow-up video to that I wanted to, this was an article that came out on WMBF News. And this is about Michael's neighbor that actually defended him in this church investigation after his release. And I thought it would be really interesting to see what this video said because I have not heard it yet. So I'm going to play it and let me know if there's any problems hearing it. After 10 seconds. Oh, here we go. We'll be able to do it now. Here we go. Let me take it back. Got to get the volume.
Investigation is added. Continuing coverage for you now is the fifth suspect in a Pawleys Island church investigation is out of jail and back home. Michael Fields was released earlier today after his arrest yesterday. Our TJ Turner went to his home, spoke with neighbors.
Recent arrest and an ongoing investigation into leaders of a Pawleys Island area church and Christian Academy following the discovery of a registered sex offender working around children has brought more mixed reactions from the community this afternoon. I went to the home of Michael Fields, who serves as the Director of Operations and Missions at Pawleys Island Community Church. He's also responsible for the security of the entire campus and the safety of the...
Whoa. Well, then he would have had to know about Warren Perry because he's responsible for the security of the entire campus. I'm sorry, what? This is crazy. This is crazy. And y'all can hear the video good. Sorry, I'm looking at my phone. I'm not asleep. You know, you know. I can't see the chat when I'm sharing my screen. So I just want to make sure that you guys, that is crazy. So he's also the head of security for the whole church. Sounds like to me Michael Fields may have definitely known what was happening.
Students at Pawleys Island Christian Academy, according to Georgetown County Sheriff Carter Weaver. While Fields himself declined to comment, his neighbor, Greg Myers, had a lot to say defending the recently released man.
And I'm extremely disappointed in the government and the overreach because that man does not deserve what he's going through.
Hold on, sir. If they were not doing the overreach, who is going to be looking out for the kids? Greg? I'm curious what that says on his shirt. Something LLC. I may have to get a screenshot and then look at it later. I mean, Michael might seem like a really nice guy, but you don't know his personal decisions that he's made about things. Are you his personal confidant? My neighbors don't confide in me about everything they do and vice versa. So just because so-and-so is my neighbor doesn't mean that I know all the intertwinings of their personal dealings in life. Bear, cut it out. Not all of us are like this. You understand that, right? Like some of us have ethics and morals, and we don't go around acting like we're. This is disgusting. This is terrible. Hey, Heidi Cakes, it's good to see you. What's going on in chat? Everything good in chat? I want to make sure. Twisty, y'all good? Mod, you handle it. You take care of it. I got shit to do. So y'all work it out, whatever it is.
I've known Mike and his entire family since they moved here in '97. You could not ask for a better neighbor.
Fields is accused of knowingly allowing Warren Perry to work alongside
Do what you got to do,
while
brother.
in his role at Pawleys Island Community Church. Former senior pastor Don Williams, his wife Ginny Williams, and former school director Niki Howard have all resigned from their positions and also face charges in this case. Reporting from the control room, TJ Turner, WNBF News.
All right, let me get off this. We're going to jump back over here. You just getting to know each other? Okay, well, be nice to my rubber Ramada now. She's my very good friend. So, be kind to her. I know, Bear. I've been seeing it all across the news. The police, lawyers, doctors, teachers. It's getting pretty disgusting out here for sure. All right, let's jump into the next thing that we got over here. Got one more video that I want to show you guys, and it involves Richard Todd. And then we're going to hop into this lawsuit. Now, if we go for X amount of time, and let me tell you, these lawsuits that I'm getting ready to cover are pretty long. We can either read through each individual page, or I can summarize the lawsuits for you, which is still going to take a good amount of time because it's a lot to cover. And you're probably still going to need to get your notepads and pens out. It would take me forever to do some chat GPT timelines on these lawsuits, but I can work on it. So let me get over here. This is something that I've been seeing around town. Different places are posting signs demanding action in front of Pawleys Island Community Church this Sunday, 9 a.m. to noon. They did this last Sunday out on the public sidewalk, and the church actually closed, and there was nobody there. So they want people to bring signs and nothing else. They want to keep it peaceful and respectful, and they just want their message to be seen, nothing to be heard, not causing a disruption. But this community's feeling some type of way. So if you live out in this area and you want to come out and support with these people, I'm just giving you the notification here. I was asked if I would share it on my channel, and I told them that I would. So I wanted to make sure that I shared that with you guys as well. So let me hop over here to this next article. And here you can see SLED charges former Georgetown judge with unlawful conduct of a child. Judge was arrested and suspended. This is the guy who was that Michael Fields was asking for in the bond hearing. Ricky Todd. Isn't Ricky Todd supposed to be here? And the judge said, no, there's no one here to represent you. And how interesting that it was just this took place at 9 a.m. By 3:40 p.m., Richard Todd Jr. was booked into jail for unlawful neglect of a child. So, is it tied in? How does this all play in together? How it's playing in together right now. These are allegations. And Richard Todd was supposed to represent Michael Fields, who was also charged with child endangerment and, putting other people at church at risk because he knew there was a predator that was volunteering at the church, and he knew about it and didn't say anything because that violated Warren Perry's probation. And it went on for 6 years. Michael Fields was there for 15 years, so I'm sure that he had knowledge of what was going on. How this guy ties in, it's going to be interesting. I'm waiting on the FOIA. Michelle, what do we know about it so far? Have you got anything back? Thank you, Twisty. The community is sharing their voice and speaking up. And that's why I'm here talking about it. I try to cover most things in my community because it's where I can actually drive to. It's people that I know that are affected. And I've lived here for almost 30 years. So this is my home. This is where I pay taxes. And these are the things, this is where I feel like I can make a difference, I know too, worried mom. Sadly, none of this surprises you. And yeah, it's scary. All right, let's jump in and watch this. You have not heard back on the FOIA? Okay. Thanks, sis. I appreciate that.
Granger offers over a...
All right, let's wait for this ad to play through. All right, here we go. Take it back. Get this volume up.
A Georgetown chief, and we want to thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. I'm Justin Kolar. A Georgetown chief municipal judge is accused of placing a juvenile at unreasonable risk of harm. The South Carolina Law Enforcement Division arrested 46-year-old Richard Dana Todd Jr., this man you see on your screen, yesterday, and charged him with unlawful conduct toward a child. According to an arrest warrant, the alleged
unlawful conduct toward a child. Ooh.
Incidents happened in 2023 and 2024 involving a juvenile who was then 9 years old. Investigators say Todd Jr. engaged in inappropriate behavior while in the child's presence. The allegations were made during a forensics interview with the child and through disclosures to a therapist.
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me readjust my headphones. I feel like they're cutting off my circulation right now to my head. Deep breaths. I'm getting more angry at this case by the minute. And this is the guy that was coming to represent Michael Fields. Michael. Birds of a feather flock together. Cindy, say it loud for the ones in the back. I told you guys I was seeing a pattern. Remember yesterday, Wednesday on the live stream when I said, people in my community's question was knowing that the pastor's son also committed SA on a student that he went to school with at Waccamaw High School and was still allowed to continue to attend school and play school athletics, even though he was found guilty. He admitted he was guilty. He told the judge he was guilty. He pled guilty, 17 years old, tried as an adult. This is the pastor's son, the pastor of Pawleys Island Community Church. No, it doesn't have anything to do with this case, but it sets the precedent that there were things happening a long time ago, back in the early 2000s, around the time that Trip Atkinson, the youth pastor, was at the church, and he was also arrested and had to go before a judge to court, which that case ended up being dropped. But he was also accused of the same thing. And he's continuing to be a pastor at a church somewhere out in upstate South Carolina. Well, bare minimum, I understand that you think listen, righteous anger is real, but the anger is not just at the predator at this point, because there are people that are enabling this predator to have access to kids. So when I'm angry, I am going to not just be angry at the predator, because the pastor and his wife, the administrator of the preschool and the Christian Academy, knowingly kept a registered sex offender volunteering and working at the church, knowing that he was found guilty of these crimes with a young child. They are just as guilty as he is for allowing it and not standing up for these kids, in my opinion. And I know, because I'm a mother and I have a child. He might be grown now, but I'm telling you what, I would lay down my life for my kid. I would never allow such a thing like that. They knowingly and willingly agreed, as a board of 12 elders and the people who were in management of the church, that they would put in place stipulations to protect Warren Perry. And that's been said. The pastor said that he has been forgiven, all the while knowing it violated his probation, and they did not report that to the South Carolina Prison, Parole, and Pardon Board. And now the South Carolina Prison, Parole, and Pardon Board is going to be sued in lawsuit number 5 that we're going to be reviewing. They are listed on this case. And that is the reason that I feel angry at these people. Here we have Richard Todd. He actually did something to a child, you know, and I don't know. It's just so disheartening that people would actually look the other way when these people that are in places of authority are protecting the predator and not the kids, not the victims, not the people who are the most vulnerable. It's sick. And the pastor is not in charge of forgiveness to a CSA predator. That's exactly right. That's between him and the Lord. But the law, God says we should uphold the law, and the law is they can't be around children, period. Too worried, Mom. I know all of this could have been prevented. This case makes me so furious, I cannot even see straight. So, these lawsuits are can have pretty intimate details, as we saw last night when we were covering lawsuits 1 and 2. Just on that second lawsuit alone, I just became extremely angry. Definitely twisty, dereliction of duty for sure. It scares me. Yep, I punch air constantly in these cases, but I have to trust that the court is going to do what they need to do. And I expect more. I expect more from people that sit in places of authority where I live. And I've got to stand up for what's right, because I pay taxes in this town, and I'm going to have my say. And that's just how it is. And that's why I have a channel. I appreciate that, Twisty. Thank you so much. So let's hop right into it. And I'm not going to keep you guys here for much longer. We'll probably be here for about another hour. And whatever we don't get to, we're going to push that out to the next live stream. I'm looking at my schedule, and I'm thinking that maybe we can do something possibly Sunday afternoon. How do you guys feel about going a couple of hours Sunday afternoon? I'm on the East Coast. I'm in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. How do you guys feel about doing something from maybe like 2 to 4 or like 3 to 5, like early? That would be really good if we could do something like that. And that way we can continue the momentum, because I have a feeling it's going to take me a couple of episodes to get through these lengthy lawsuits and be able to, give you guys a summary of what all this stuff actually means. Because when this goes to trial, we're definitely going to be covering it. So, works for you, Cindy? Y'all let me know in the chat, and we'll get started on lawsuit number 1. See if I can go up here and find where we're starting at here. I appreciate you, Hottie Cakes, honey. I know you working and you're busy, but just know I appreciate. Listen, there might be people that have me in their ear right now. If you're watching and you're just in the bushes because you're busy making dinner, doing stuff, you might be on the West Coast. You might be, I have some subscribers in Australia, some in Germany, Scotland, Norway. If you guys, whatever, if it's day or night for you, I appreciate you guys just joining us to, listen about what's happening in our communities, because there's a good chance that these types of crimes and things that are going on here are also happening in your community, and sharing awareness about things that are going on. We want to make sure that we're getting the factual information out there so that we can share to help bring missing people home and talk about these cases with dignity and respect for the families and the victims of these crimes. We have to share the awareness, because otherwise people don't know that things are out there happening. Some people say, oh, well, those crimes just happen in Chicago. Those types of things that just happen out in California. And that's not the case. We're in 2026. What's done in the dark is coming to light. And I mean, there is such a light shining right now. It's about to blind everybody. But we got to keep shining it. We got to keep shining. We got to keep exposing what's done in the dark. All right, so we're going to get into, this is the first case in the Pawleys Island Community Church civil lawsuit. This is lawsuit number 3. If you haven't hit that like and subscribe button, how about going over and doing that for me now? And don't forget to check out my bonfire store. All of my shirts, except for one, supports a 501c3. There is one Dutch bus shirt. That I think it is. I think it's the one with the tattooed Dutch girl on it. That actually supports the channel. But all of my other shirts on my bonfire store do support 501c3, so that we can pay it forward to places that have resources that help these families going through tragedies. And I'm going to pull up this because I've got old people problems. Got to get this pulled up. Let's see if I can find it here. Lawsuit number 3. Here we go. Now, do y'all want to go over this page by page? I will go ahead and tell you that lawsuit number 3. Oh, it's a hefty one, y'all. There's 51 pages in this lawsuit. And it's a lot. It's a lot. I do have like a synopsis of the lawsuit. And it's going to take me a while just to even share the synopsis of the lawsuit. To give you the... I can't even post 51 pages on my community wall. No old people problems. Oh my God, that's what I call OPP, old people problems. That's what I got because my eyesight be going. Yeah, so you guys can let me know which you think you would be better able to absorb. We can certainly read through it, but it's going to take us some time. 51 pages. I think this is the longest of the lawsuits, but the other ones are close to 40 pages. I know, right? Oh, they have got some demands on this one. So if you wanted me to just kind of walk you through, I'll show the pages, but I'll kind of give you the synopsis of the sections as I roll through these pages. And if you want to screenshot them, like, please do. Don't you be sending to the villages too. No, we're not gonna be messing around in the villages now down in Florida. You want the synopsis? I kind of feel like that would be better because 51 pages, oh, that's a lot. It's a lot. All right, let me get over here and get all of my notes that I made. Let's see what I've got here. All right, lawsuit number 3. All right, here's my notes here. Bare minimum, you can't even count to 50. Stop it. Quit playing. All right. Seatbelts, helmets, whatever you need, your snacks, your drinks. Buckle in. We're going to try to at least get through lawsuit number 3, and I think we just may pick up the next live stream maybe Sunday afternoon. We'll have to do 4, and then we'll just have to add some episodes, maybe Monday, Wednesday, and Friday again next week. And we'll just cover these lawsuits until they stop filing lawsuits, I reckon, so we can understand everything that's happened in this case. I have a feeling there may be more. I hope not, but it's very possible. All right, so let's start with the summary. This is the initial page right here, the summons. And this was filed actually on July the 21st of 2026 in Georgetown County Court of Common Pleas, 15th Judicial Circuit. Before I get started, Elizabeth Lander, are you in the building? Elizabeth Lander, are you in the building? I need for you to tell me if my microphone sounds better tonight than it did last night. I'll wait for you to respond before I start. Because I was trying to decide if I'm going to have to get another microphone, so please. It does sound better? Oh, I'm so glad. So I did get it fixed. Perfect. Thank you for the trigger warning, Michelle. Much better? Perfect. Yeah, I think it was the angle of my microphone. And also I needed to have it on the carotid setting that's on there. And so I wanted to make sure it sounded good. Okay. All right, let's get started. Case number 2026-C as in cat, P as in Paul, -22-00739. The plaintiff's Jane Doe, individually and on behalf of her minor son, RK, initials RK are actually listed in this lawsuit, who was under 5 years old. There is a jury trial that is demanded. The defendants named in the lawsuit are Pawleys Island Community Church, Pawleys Island Christian Academy, Pastor Don Williams, his wife Ginny Williams, the Academy Director Niki Howard, 10 unidentified members of the church's elder board, and Warren Spence Perry, the RSO. The central allegation, this lawsuit is brought by the mother of a very young child who attended Pawleys Island Christian Academy. The complaint alleges that church and school leadership knowingly allowed Warren Spence Perry, a RSO convicted in 2023 of sexual exploitation of a minor, to work as a volunteer custodian and maintenance worker with regular, allegedly unrestricted access to children. The child RK all right, hang on. I just lost my place. The child RK was allegedly enrolled in the Academy's 3-year-old program from at least September 2025 through July of 2026. So up until this month, we're in the last day of July of 2026 today. Because he was so young, the mother alleges that she may never know exactly what he saw, experienced, or whether anything was done to him while Perry had access to the school. There is an important distinction, though, based on the pages provided. The lawsuit does not specifically allege that Perry essayed RK. And that was pretty much one of the things that I gathered in this stream. It basically alleges that RK was exposed to a known and foreseeable danger. Perry had daily access to him and other children. The mother cannot determine what may or may not have occurred because of her son's age, and the permanent uncertainty and emotional distress caused by that situation are themselves injuries. And that distinction will be important when discussing the case publicly. So we have to make sure we separate fact from allegation in these lawsuits. So major factual allegations, because, and this is listed in the complaint right here, Perry was not working privately in an isolated area. It alleges that he worked as a custodian in the same building as the children. He was present every single day and all the time. Children drew pictures for him and gave him gifts. The Academy promoted an auction prize where a child could spend a whole workday helping the school's 2 custodians, one of whom was allegedly Warren Perry. Okay, Bear. The Academy promoted an auction prize, like I just said, and the plaintiffs portray all of these things that I just listed as more than leadership merely overlooking his presence. They allege that the church and Academy actively placed him in a trusted position within the children's environment. The complaint also does go on to allege in these other documents that Pastor Don Williams has leadership, governance, and supervisory responsibility over the church and the Academy. That Don Williams knew for years that Warren Perry was an RSO. He personally, Don Williams, the pastor, provided that character reference we spoke about yesterday to the South Carolina Department of Probation, Parole, and Pardon Services. And he gave that reference so Perry could obtain approval to work at the church. Now, there are allegations contained in the lawsuit that have not yet been proven in court. There are such allegations as the complaint in this lawsuit, and when you read it, you'll see it. The complaint states that an Academy teacher raised concerns about Perry working around children, and according to this lawsuit, the administration did not remove Perry. Instead, the teacher allegedly was told that Perry had rehabilitated himself, which makes me very angry, and that judging him was not a Christian thing to do. Yeah, that's a good point. Too worried mom. Parents may not know for up to 20 to 30 years. The lawsuit further alleges that the teacher who reported the concern was then forced out of her position. This allegation is being used to argue that the school received a direct warning and deliberately chose not to act. Yes, Bear, I agree. Now, the allegations against Niki Howard, remember, she is the director of Pawleys Island Christian Academy. Niki Howard is alleged to have been responsible for day-to-day academy operations, screening the staff and volunteers, supervising and monitoring workers, handling complaints, protecting children, and making safety representations to parents. The complaint alleges that Howard had actual knowledge of Perry's RSO status, but allowed him to remain in a position where he could access children. Now we move on to the allegations against the wife, Ginny Williams. I mean, there is so many pages in this lawsuit. Ginny Williams is identified as the church's guest services director, a church employee for approximately 27 years. Pastor Williams' spouse, a member of the church leadership, and they alleges that she knew, through the exercise of reasonable care, should have known about the circumstances described in the lawsuit. And then there's the allegations against the elder board, the 12 men, which it cites in this particular lawsuit. 10 unidentified members of that board have been named. And of those 10 current unidentified elders, it alleges that Pawley Island Community Church is independent and not governed by a larger denomination. Therefore, the complaint argues that the elder board is the church's highest and continuing governing authority. And the plaintiff's theory is that pastors and employees may change. The elder board remains. The board carries the church's continuing institutional knowledge. The board has a non-delegable duty to protect children in the church and the academy's care. The actual identities of the elders are expected to be determined through the discovery process. I do know some of the elders' names, but I'm not going to disclose them here. We will wait for court. The background check allegations, and that complaint alleges that the South Carolina Division of Early Care and Education cited the academy for failing to complete required background checks before staff members were hired on 3 occasions: February of 2024, March of 2024, and March of 2026. And at the same time, the plaintiff claimed that the church advertised on its website that all Pawleys Island Community Church kid volunteers were background checked and trained. Its preschool was a safe place for children. Hopping over to the comments to see what you guys are saying. Exactly, Elizabeth. There is no rehab or cure for what's been done. There's not. I am as well. I am very upset myself, Elizabeth. We have to break the cycle of this. For sure. The mother alleges these safety representations were false and that she relied on them when she enrolled her son and paid tuition and enrollment fees. Now, there is a 2005 lawsuit connection, y'all. Maybe that's why this is 51 pages. Because this goes back to a 2005 lawsuit, all in this complaint. This complaint refers to a lawsuit filed 20 years earlier when the church was known as Pawleys Island Baptist Church. It alleges that the church and Don Williams were sued for negligence in 2005. Say it ain't so. Holy moly. I don't even know right now. That lawsuit involved a youth director. This is the one with Trip Atkinson. I was wondering if this was going to be this or not. That lawsuit involved a youth director who was later accused of sexually assaulting a minor, and the case was settled. The plaintiffs are not presenting that earlier case as proof that the current allegations are true. They are using it to argue that the church leadership has already been placed on notice about serious danger created by inadequate screening and supervision of individuals working around children. Now, Jane Doe alleges that she enrolled RK because she believed the Academy's statements that children were safe and that workers and volunteers were properly screened, and that she paid childcare based on these representations. And because she was not informed that there was an RSO working in the same environment as her 3-year-old child at that time, the lawsuit's legal theory so far is basically framed. And like I said, all of this is broken down in the lawsuit. It's framed around negligence, gross negligence, recklessness, same things we saw in lawsuit 1 and 2, failure to screen, failure to supervise, failure to respond to warnings, concealment of a known danger, false or misleading safety representations, institutional and corporate responsibility for the acts of employees and volunteers. And it also emphasizes to people, I want to find out exactly what page that's on. Let me hop over and look at this quickly. Say probably back right here. Yeah. There we go. The complaint also emphasizes this is not a dispute over religious doctrine. The plaintiffs argue that the church and academy should be judged under the same neutral child care, safety, and consumer protection rules that apply to other organizations accepting custody of children for payment. So this lawsuit's message is basically the mother is not claiming that she presently knows that her child was assaulted. She's claiming that the church and the school leadership knowingly created a situation in which an RSO had continuing access to her child. And because RK was so young, she may never be able to discover the full truth until he's much older, or if even at all. So when we go through, gosh, there is so much. It identifies officers, elders, employees, agents, servants, and volunteers. Anyone who volunteered or worked for the church at any given time. That could be so many people. And the church cannot avoid the case by merely invoking religion. basically. So like a major section of this lawsuit also, I thought that was a keynote that I made. It directly addressed a likely First Amendment or religious freedom defense, and the plaintiff acknowledged that courts generally cannot interfere in matters involving religious doctrine, church discipline, questions of faith, internal ecclesiastical governance. But the complaint argues that this lawsuit does not require the court to decide any religious question. Instead, the disputed issues concern ordinary secular matters such as background checks, child care licensing requirements, screening workers and volunteers, supervising adults around children, responding to safety complaints, warning parents about known dangers, making truthful statements about child safety. The plaintiffs argue that the same rules should apply to the Academy that would apply to any other licensed child care facility accepting custody of children. And that's what we have to remember, because when you're operating as a school, you're operating as a business. So you have to take the church part out of it. Love you, Rubber Ramada. Take care of your mental health. Reach out to me if you need to. I love you so much. Deep breaths. Y'all remember, these can be triggering topics. One of the mods can drop another trigger warning in the chat for me. I would be most appreciative. Now, there was also something else I noted. The specific duties the plaintiffs claim were violated. You know, that was the SLED and FBI checks, the criminal history checks, the sex offender registry checks, central registry checks. That is what all of those background checks involve. And they did not tell anybody that was a member of the church. They kept it to the elders and the people who were running the church. They never bothered to tell anybody. Thank you, Michelle. And of course, the complaint repeats over again, basically, as we move on through this complaint. And it just reiterates that Pastor Don Williams, providing that character reference, that was like an affirmative act that helped Perry receive this approval to be able to work at the church, so that the PPP board would think he was doing what he was supposed to. And this is even a stronger allegation than simple failure to remove him. The complaint is basically arguing that this pastor allegedly took action that facilitated Perry's continued placement around kids. Thus, that could cause further harm to these children. I mean, he knew what he was doing. What you doing, Harley? But it's got to be supported with evidence, because remember, in these lawsuits, these are all allegations, and they are going to have to bring evidence that supports these allegations when they go to trial. Now, when it talks about that teacher, that was told that Warren Perry had rehabilitated himself and that judging him was not a Christian thing to do. And then the teacher was allegedly forced out of her position. The plaintiffs argue that this demonstrates more accidental oversight and that leadership received an explicit warning and consciously chose to keep Perry in place where he was at. And that is grossly negligent, reckless, willful, and a total absence of care. So basically it goes and it talks through all of these different injuries that are claimed. It says that this lawsuit alleges that the scandal and resulting disruption caused to RK caused him to lose his routine, his stability, his sense of security, his familiar educational environment. The complaint also alleges that he has experienced or may experience developmental disruption, emotional dysregulation, behavioral regression, and psychological harm. Now remember, these are all allegations listed by Jane and John Doe in this third lawsuit. I'm sure they did too, Worried Mom. I'm sure plenty of them knew. Yes, the teacher should have told the parents also. I agree. Yeah, that's a good question. Why is the teacher the only one that spoke up? It also further alleges that he will require specialized forensic evaluation, developmental evaluation, psychological evaluation, and treatment, and that these claimed injuries will likely require medical, psychological evidence as the case proceeds. I'm assuming that that is what they plan on showing to the court, because they will have to back that up. The injuries claimed by Jane Doe, the mother, she claims severe and continuing emotional distress. Her central injury is described as permanent anguish of never knowing precisely, again, what her child saw, was exposed to, may have occurred in his presence, anything that was done directly to him. And therefore, it brings to charitable immunity in this lawsuit. And that is where the plaintiffs anticipate that the church and academy may argue that they are a charitable organization entitled to limitations on civil liability. The lawsuit responds by alleging that charitable protection should not apply, nor should it limit recovery, because the conduct was allegedly reckless, willful, and grossly negligent. The plaintiffs specifically allege that Pastor Williams, Ginny Williams, Niki Howard, and the elders should be personally liable because of their alleged individual conduct. And this is an attempt to prevent the institutional and individual defendants from using this status to get out of it. Let's see, what other notes did I make about this case? And these claims that were made in this lawsuit, they, like I said, this is quite a few pages. As we read through all of this, it would take us a pretty long time to get through a lot of this. And the plaintiffs also did argue, another note that I made was that the alleged misconduct should not be treated as one single event for purposes of damages or insurance coverage. Remember when Viper was telling us about the SAM insurance? Put a one in chat if you were here last night when Viper was telling us about the SAM insurance that a lot of churches have. I know Two Worried Moms in the chat, that's his wife. That was very wild. That is sexual abuse and molestation insurance. And they call that the acronym SAM. And it is specialized liability coverage that protects religious institutions from financial ruin if a staff member, volunteer, or representative is accused of misconduct. And that standard liability insurance policy explicitly excludes abuse and molestation claims, making standalone SAM coverage or policy endorsements critical. So, you know, this might cover legal defense costs, settlements and judgments, negligent practices, crisis management. That has not been revealed if the insurance is in place or not, which I thought was very interesting. Because I'm sure they probably have it. Heidi says, how was the police department there? I wonder why no one went to the police to report. I wonder if any of the cops went to the church. Well, that's a good question, Heidi Cakes. The PPP board says they didn't know anything about it because the pastor gave him a reference and did not let them know. But the PPP would have known that he was an RSO because he literally was arrested and found guilty. So that's why in the 5th lawsuit, the South Carolina PPP is being sued also. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. You would love a timeline of this case? Oh, Lord, I don't know if I'd be able to do that. That would be a lot of ChatGPT work to make the timeline like I made for the case. Because if it's simple like this, I can put it into some sort of timeline that you guys can read. It would probably take me quite a few slides to put all of this into like a breakdown. I'll have to see what I can do. I don't think my brain would allow me to do that. I'll have to see what I can come up with. You'll have to work with me on it. I have to see what I can do. And so we talked about all the causes of actions, and I basically just tried to, summarize that. So I'm just going to hit the highlights as I walk through this. And then the first cause of action, of course, I told you was negligence, gross negligence, and recklessness. And they seek actual damages, compensatory damages, consequential damages, punitive damages against the individual defendants, elders, and Perry, determined by a judge or jury. So there's that part. Such a long case right here. There's the beginning of the second one. So let's get back up to this one. There we go. The second cause of action is negligent hiring, retention, supervision, and training. And we discussed all of those reasons. The third cause was negligent misrepresentation. We talked about the background checks, keeping the environment safe. They were paying for a service. They didn't get it because they were not protecting children. No background checks. The financial losses that are claimed in the third cause of action are tuition, enrollment fees, past and future evaluation costs, treatment and care expenses, and other consequential damage. And I will try to put some of these into summary evaluations. I'll see what I can do. The fourth cause of action is breach of contract and breach of good faith and fair dealing. And I believe, let's see if we go back up here. Am I frozen? Hold on. Hold, please. Oh, here we go. I think I mashed too many buttons. We about went to the moon. Okay. All right, we got that breach of contract, breach of good faith, and fair dealing. That timeline is perfect. They may come out and say they will give counseling for free. That would not shock me at all. And thank you, Moz, for sharing all the links in the chat. If you guys are watching in the bushes or if you are engaging in the chat, make sure you click on some of these links and save them. You never know if you might need to send them to somebody who needs to see them. The claim is brought against the church and the academy, and they argue that the contractual agreement was for care, supervision, protection, education, and a reasonably safe environment. And the complaint includes parent handbooks, written policies, website statements, admission communications, safety promises. The damages requested on that fourth cause of action is reimbursement and recovery for tuition fees and other losses allegedly flowing from that breach. That fifth cause of action, which let me go over here and see where we are on the fifth cause. Yeah, it's way down here. I want to make sure that I've got you close to where we are. When I went to the moon, I think it put me on something else here. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah, here we go. That's the first cause right here. It's hard to see it on my screen. There's the third, fourth. Let's see this one right here. Fifth cause of action right here. All right, we're caught up here. All right, that fifth cause of action, the violation of the South Carolina Unfair Trade Practices Act. And that is just, they sold childcare and educational services, charged tuition and fees, compels unfair and deceptive practices because the institutions allegedly marketed the academy as safe, which we've already talked about. I feel like some of this is redundant, but they're going to break it down however they need to. It's not for me to rule what it's about, but I feel like a lot of this is broken down in different sections, but it's kind of re-inciting the same situation, kind of like reaffirming it. That sixth cause of action, we're back to reckless infliction of emotional distress. And that, of course, is against the church, the academy, and the named individuals, Don Williams, Niki Howard, Warren Perry, and all of the elders. And I'm sure that will likely include Michael Fields because he was also operating, you know, as a person in a place of power in the church. So it's very possible that he could be included because we have not been revealed that list of 10 people. But there could be a chance that Michael Fields is on that list. We shall wait and see. The plaintiff claims that the alleged conduct was so extreme and outrageous that severe emotional distress was a foreseeable result. And of course, reiterating as previous in the law suit above, and other stipulations named previously, the severe emotional distress to Jane Doe for not knowing what her young child may have went through, and also what RK may have been impacted objectively, you know, with identifiable psychological and behavioral symptoms. And again, there is still that important distinction. This claim still does not establish that Warren Perry essayed RK. The emotional distress claim is based on the alleged exposure, the uncertainty, the disruption, the psychological consequences described in the complaint. So I want to make that very clear. The seventh cause of action, and let me get over here so I can change my little, here we go. Seventh cause of action, direct corporate and institutional negligence, malfeasance, and ratification. And of course, that's brought against all of the defendants. That is the church, the academy, the elder board members. And it argues that this was not an isolated misconduct of one individual. It alleges this is an institution-wide failure at the highest level of governance, and that the church and academy are accused of failing to identify the danger, investigate the danger, disclose the danger, correct it, establish adequate safety systems, and exercise proper governance and oversight. And they claim that the board and institutional defendants received repeat notice after this happened with a previous youth pastor in 2005, the 2024 and 2026 background check citations, the leadership's alleged knowledge of Perry's RSO conviction, Perry's registry status, and the teacher's warning. Despite all of that, the lawsuit claims leadership failed to conduct a meaningful investigation. And I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot just in itself. This is quite a so these legal claims in this lawsuit, this is where the complaint expands far beyond a simple negligence case. The mother is suing over several different theories. She alleges negligence, the gross negligence, the supervision, false representations. It's not one isolated event. Plaintiffs are saying that Perry being around children was one occurrence, keeping him there was another, providing him a character reference was another, each missed background check, that was another, the teacher's warning, each false safety representation to parents was another. These things are beginning to build and build and build upon each other. So here at the end of this, there is a prayer for relief on this very last page here. And it says that the plaintiff respectfully prays for judgment against the defendants for the actual compensatory and consequential damages of all defendants, summons to be determined by finder of fact, with the number of occurrences to be determined as alleged herein. And they are also seeking punitive damages against defendants Don Williams, Ginny Williams, Niki Howard, and each elder defendant and Warren Perry in the amounts to be determined by the finder of fact. That would be the judge or the jury. For treble damages and reasonable attorney fees and costs pursuant to South Carolina Unfair Trade Practices Act 39-5-140, and also for the economic damages of plaintiff Jane Doe on her individual claim for necessaries, and for the cost and disbursements of this action, and for other and further relief as this honorable court may deem just and proper. And this was filed by McGowan, Hood, Felder, and Phillips, and they are out of Rock Hill, South Carolina. They demand a trial by jury on all issues. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Yes, Michelle. Screwball did have to go through a background check to be a coach. I was married to a former college baseball coach. And because he worked, especially because he worked for a college, but he also coached my son's baseball team. And he still had to submit a background check, even though they knew that he coached college baseball. Yes, they still had to have a background check. And it was fine. That's what you should have to do. You know, because you want to demonstrate to other parents that, hey, there's nothing you need to worry about, because that's the last thing that parents and children need to worry about, is that there is a predator among you when you're out there trying to get your kids to engage in athletics and activities. That's right. Now the trust has been broken for the children, the parents, the caregivers. I mean, can you imagine, like, hey, son, to a 5-year-old, we can't go back to the school. Why? Because bad things have happened. Like, how do you explain that to a child? Too Worried Mom says, sadly, these things have been happening for decades and so many people get away with it. And again, we need stronger laws and time behind bars. And that's why I appreciate the people who do come here to talk about these cases, because the facts matter, but these allegations are simply that. They are allegations. These people are going to have to bring the evidence to trial. This is going to be something else when it goes to trial. I assure you, there is a $25 million class action lawsuit against the church and the academy. And that was just the first lawsuit. That's not including the other lawsuit for John Doe that we read yesterday. And the things that was done to John Doe infuriated me. So I can very well understand how this parent right here must be feeling, because it's all the what ifs, all the things that they don't know. This is never going to be okay. Hey, Earthy. It's good to see you. I hope you're doing good. Thanks for dropping by. We're just reviewing this court case. Lawsuit number 3. We've already been here for 2 hours and 5 minutes. And so we're probably going to have to push out lawsuit number 4 because it's another 40 pages. And I want to be able to give you a good detailed breakdown of that. But it took a little extra time because I had to tell you about some of these other people that have been arrested, because look here, I had to make us a new little thumbnail with all of these arrests that we have going on. And yes, YouTube, I make my graphics. ChatGPT, I put in all the information, I tell it what to do, and then it spits it out for me. That's the latest arrest. Let me take my little comments down. Then we got Warren Perry, Don Williams, Ginny Williams, Jennifer Niki Howard. But this is the guy I hadn't figured out quite yet. We got Richard Dana Todd Jr. and how he ties into all of this child neglect. Well, he himself was arrested yesterday at 3:20 p.m. and placed in the Georgetown County, South Carolina detention center where Michael Fields was at. And guess what, guys? Michael Fields was waiting on Ricky Todd to come represent him at 9 a.m. at the courthouse for his bond hearing, which was $25,000. So he had to have, what, $4,500 cash surety bond to get out, and he did. Somebody brought him the cash, and he got out. But he asked the magistrate, I'm waiting on Ricky Todd. Ricky Todd was supposed to be here. This is him, y'all. Oh, Ricky Todd didn't make it, Michael, because he was busy getting arrested by Georgetown County Sheriff's Office for unlawful neglect of a child. Y'all saw the video earlier in this chat. If you're coming in late, you're definitely going to want to catch this on the rewind. How do all these people tie in? How many more people do we have in our community that's up to no good? It makes me sick. But don't forget, there are locals that are out there on this case, and they are demanding action. They are meeting out there this Sunday at 9 a.m. to noon on the public sidewalk in front of Pawleys Island Community Church on public land. Bring signs, nothing else. Don't go out there with all your little, water guns and crazy stuff. Signs. Keep it peaceful, keep it respectful. But they want to make sure that the church and everyone knows that this will not be tolerated in our community. And rightfully so. And if I'm trying to get it scheduled where I was going to try to ride out there, but if we have to schedule a live stream in the afternoon, I'm going to have to try to see what I can do. If I can get the Duke to drive me down there, maybe we'll have a live from the church sidewalk. I don't know. Stay tuned. Too worried, Mom. The RSO, Warren Perry, he's got money. He lives in a private residential neighborhood that is gated, that is on the waterway, that has a marina and a private golf course. It's called the Heritage Plantation. He got money. And you know what's even more interesting? If you guys haven't watched episode 1 and 2, you definitely need to go check it out, because it turns out that before all of this went down, Warren Perry had went to an attorney and he put Ginny Williams and Donna Williams, the pastor, and his wife, as the power of attorney over his finances, y'all, and all of his things. And that has been the beckoning question of the week in my community. People talking at the store, people talking at the beauty salon, people was talking at the nail salon I was at yesterday. Allegedly was Warren Perry purchasing kids? Is this a trafficking situation? I don't have the answer. And that's why we have to go over these lawsuits, and we have to see how this is going to play out, because these are allegations and we have to know what the evidence is going to be to find out how it's going to play out in court. So I'm just here to bring you the factual information about that. And a big shout out to the mods tonight. I appreciate you guys dropping links for resources. And I do appreciate Michelle for helping me collect all of the information on these FOIAs. And we're still waiting for the FOIA on the judge. We know that his judicial gavel was suspended, so he's not going to be practicing any type of law in the state of South Carolina. And I'll keep you guys posted. There could be more lawsuits. There could be more arrests. Anything is possible. It could happen this weekend. So, but we have to protect the kids. And that is what is most important in my community, because I have several friends that have small children. I have family that comes to visit here, my nieces, my nephews, my son and his stepkids. We have to keep this community safe. And that's why together we watch, together we protect. Strong communities, safe children, brighter future. Our community watches. If you see something, say something. Make sure that you are reporting suspicious activity. Report it to law enforcement. Don't come to YouTube and tell me about it. I mean, you can send me a message, but if you know something about a case, please make sure that you call law enforcement. Call NCMEC. Call the hotline. You can report an anonymous tip. Call 911. Call your local police department. Call the Internet Crimes. I'm sure, I'm looking in chat. I'm sure that Michelle has just dropped it, and I've probably just looked over it. Call the Internet Crimes Against Children hotline. That's who arrested Warren Perry. They and Homeland Security came to his house and arrested him. because that's how they caught him, was with a tip through NCMEC. Yes, and there is the cacsc.org. Thank you so much for dropping that too, Worried Mom. And you can also go over here and check for RSOs in your area and Family Watchdog. Lots of great resources that they are sharing in the chat. And I really appreciate you guys choosing to spend a couple hours with me while we go over these things. Thank you. There it is. The Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force Program. That is the FBI. And I'm very thankful for Lightning Viper and, him coming on yesterday without notice and sharing his story and talking about why these cases are so important, why we have to stay vigilant. Predators don't care, but we do. And we have to protect our children. We have to protect our future. So if you see something, make sure you say something. And yes, too, Worried Mom, they need to check every device these people have for their forensic and digital evidence. I absolutely agree. You're so welcome, Bare Minimum, and thank you for joining us tonight. It was so nice to have you. And I hope you'll come back and listen to another case. I think I'm going to schedule this for Sunday afternoon. I'm going to try to see if I can make it out to the church for the protest, if I'm able to. And maybe we'll try to go Sunday afternoon. I have to talk to the Duke first. So look for a note on my community wall later on tonight or in the morning, and I'll let you know what my schedule looks like, and we'll plan to go over lawsuit number 4 since we didn't get to cover it tonight. And then we'll have another episode on Monday or Tuesday of next week, and we'll have episode 5 where we will cover lawsuit number 5. And I'll let you know if any updates happen over the weekend. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you're watching this on the replay, I want you to know how much I really appreciate you guys making sure that you catch these streams. Because we got to stick together. We've got to share out this information. We've always got to be working in the background. I know a lot of people choose to watch a lot of different things. But I just appreciate that you guys come over and choose to spend a little bit of time with me talking about some very serious subjects. So I'm going to board you guys back on the Dutch bus. I'm going to go walk the dog and spend a little bit of time with my hubby. And, because he got that ace tonight in disc golf. And so I'm going to go hang out with him for a little bit, get me a little snack, refresh myself after all of that stressful stuff. But I hope you enjoy your weekend. And I'll see you guys in a couple days. And we're going to revisit lawsuit number 4. And as always, thank you, mods. Memberships are paused until September, but I do appreciate anybody who wants to support. It really means so much. And I will too, Worried Mom. I will let them know. And appreciate you guys being here. And I will see you guys on the next one. So let me get us on out of here. I'm going to play you guys out with a little outro. And look forward to seeing you guys in a couple days. Take care of yourself out there on these YouTube streets. Keep your head on a swivel. Those YouTube sharks are everywhere. Bye, y'all.